When I went to the Amico gas station an hour after the rising sun, she asked me with familiarity if I was her friend Libby's son. It was back when my mother smoked Harley-Davidson menthols and I made nightly long-distance phone calls. The lady at the gas station smiled, and between silver-hooped earrings when she asked, she spoke, as if holding on to every moment past she was in her 40s. And the rivers of life had etched laugh lines into her cheeks. Her hair was halfway down her back and held in as stories of past generations. It had brown looping curls as big and round as her earrings. I smiled back and asked for a box of Newports for myself. She reached up to pull them down from the shelf, and as I headed towards her door with salutations neatly packaged for my mother, I looked at her name tag and it said, Rosalinda. Sometimes I would wake up to the sight of Rosalinda drinking coffee with my mother and the sounds of jubilant play from the room of my little sister and brother. And after a while, she started to call me mijo before and after everything. And I slowly began to think of her as my Titi Rosa. But you see, in the beginning, we called her Rosie. But she begged us not to. It was attached to a memory she didn't want to hold on to. She said her ex-husband would call her that just before he would beat her, and despite this, she never thought that life would cheat her. See, I never knew where she was from or what her story was, but she did things in life for a reason that just was. She had these beautiful kids who were artists and painted for her a heart to beat. And see, Rosa didn't have time to elapse into days of lamentation. She couldn't be bothered with the innocuous words that we die over. She didn't want to find some all-elusive four-leaf clover. Rosa had an indefinite and impending stopwatch in her pocket that even taking out the batteries couldn't stop it. Rosa had breast cancer, and she gave up fighting just so that she could keep on living. This is why her heart was always so giving. She said God had a plan and she didn't want to intervene, so she found her strength in formulating the serene. And when it came time for me to leave, she still didn't want to talk about it. She said there was no need to inspect what's already been sown. Just find strength in making these moments your own. She packed me a salutation to carry across the border for my wife, along with some valuable lessons about death and life. And I've only spoken to her once, and her voice sounded so frail, but I could still hear her smile while she was telling her tale. Every time after that, the courage would just leave me, and the phone would never make it past the dial tone. The last I heard, she went to chemotherapy and lost those generations of hair. Life has its reasons, but it never feels fair. The government took her kids because they said that she was too weak, and since we spoke, it's been over 400 weeks. And to be honest, in the end, I don't know what became of her, but instead of condolences, it's salutations that I sent to her, because she taught me that happiness will always be within the reach. You just have to know which moments to let go and which ones to keep. So when life gets hard and ties begin to unwind, I find my strength in remembering Rosa's laugh lines.